good evening, depending from which time zone you are. My name is Fisto Mudachumura, your host for Great Chair Podcast as usual. For the first timers, click subscribe and like. In this podcast, we talk about books, the amazing books that I feel I can learn from and that I can recommend to you also to try to look for and read them and learn for. And I try to encourage or initiate also to do first to the people who don't read to try to read and find books that can inspire them, improve their livelihood, improve their knowledge, and try to practice from what we read from the books. So the special book of today is the book called No Rules, Netflix and the Culture of Reinvention. It is written by Reed Hastings. He's a co-founder of Netflix. He was also the CEO until 2023, and also Erin Meyer, who is an Insead Business School professor. He teaches business of school. So, what do you need to know about this book? But basically, if you read it's Netflix, for you who don't see the design very well, you can see just a bunch of red and black, and you think that this is it. But basically, this is the end of Netflix. You see it? N of Netflix, and the design it has a black background, and you can see I like the way the design is simplified and very well. And the book was published by Penguin Random House. Yeah, so it's very good to always give also credit to the publishers because they do a very great job in making sure that beautiful books as these ones get to the market. So, what does the book talk about? If you think Netflix, maybe you may think, this is about book of how we make our films or how we acquire films and everything. No, this is a special book, I think, for leaders, managers out there because this book is just about team, team management, human resource management. How do you inspire your team? How do you work with your team? I really like that, but it basically just like gives a inside, examples on how Netflix revolutionized the way you deal with a team in a corporate structure, in an organization, in a way that is going to have the biggest impact or the biggest fruit into the team, if I can call it like that, like a good results, so that the team is going to have a good result. So the books, as I mentioned, so for anyone, there's a blab the back. uh, for anyone striving to create and innovate, you creators, you innovators, you entrepreneurs. So this book, or to read this book, is the holy grail. Of course, the blab is there just to 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 make sure you get interested in the book. But it is really good because it talks about the way we see old ways of team management or human resource management. It talks about the new way. It talks about very many big things that can help you in the modern workplace. How can you work and manage your team? So its philosophies are at the heart of the Netflix psyche, and they invite us to step into one of the world's most revolutionary companies. For some of you who are not involved in entertainment or who are not involved in films, probably who don't know about Netflix, Netflix is a company where people, you can come and watch films online and you pay on subscription basis. Basically, like per month, you pay, let's say, is it $10 or $12, and you watch films online. Netflix.com. If you haven't, you can check it out. There are many great films, many great content, good documentaries you can learn from. If you like entertainment, if there are sections of for kids and everything, you can find old films, new films. They are also started producing their own films since 2013, I think. So what you can learn about Reed Hastings was he studied mathematics in high school, in bachelor's in university. Bachelor's degree he did it in mathematics, and master's he did computer science. So straight out of his master's in '88, I think. At one point, he tried to join the military. I think straight from high school, and later on he went into the he didn't finish the military though trainings, summer military camp. He didn't finish it. He later on joined the Peace Corps. Peace Corps, you see these American volunteers who come in Africa or other regions, and they try to learn or to create impact on a volunteer basis, either in teaching. He was also a teacher in high school as part of this voluntary program in Africa. I think he did in Eswatini, now former Swaziland. Later on, he went on, after finishing his master's in '88, he went on to create the he went on to create his first company startup called Pure Software. He was about debugging the software. He worked on a thesis about also debugging software, and he ended up creating a company out of it. Uh, I mean, I remember my thesis in the uni. I think it was about, for me, it was about analysis of appropriate journalistic languages related to genocide against the Tutsis. For those of us in Rwanda or the world who are commemorating, I'm with you. I hold you dear. I wish you to be strong. Um, but coming back into the this book, so it teaches about uh, um, the freedom and the responsibility in the new workplace. Basically, you remember the old time, maybe be there this time, or some things like also like vacations of employees, feedback loop between the managers or executives and the staff under them. So basically, they encouraged this feedback thing. So for me, I really loved this book because, for example, it gives an example of certain types of, like, how do you balance between these freedoms and like not basically not putting so much rules in management of the team. That's what it comes down to. And also like making sure that you try to hire the best who can do more instead of also hiring. But it can apply different depending on the organization, what it is there for, and what you're trying to do. If it's intensive labor, if it's brain work, things like that. It all depends on how to do you strategize your company or your organization. So I think it's a very beautiful book for those of you who are in Rwanda. You can go and find it in different bookshops here. There is Kirezi, there is Charisma. I think you can also try Arise. All of them, they